Welcome to the Speak with People podcast, where we believe that healthy communication is the key to unlocking your leadership potential. We are the go-to resource for leaders looking to greatly improve their communication skills, whether it's one-on-one interactions, team settings, public speaking, or digital communication. By improving these skills, leaders can create stronger connections and drive positive change within their organizations. Each and every episode, we sit down with experts from various fields from around the world, just like you're grabbing a coffee with them, to dive into real, practical conversations. Our goal is to help you transform your communication skills so you can lead more effectively, build stronger relationships, and make a lasting impact. So go grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's learn together. Well, how do you sell with confidence without sounding manipulative? How do you lead sales conversations to feel authentic without actually then losing revenue? Well, that's what we're diving into today on the Speak with People podcast. I'm your host, Jason Raitz. You ever been stuck between pressure and authenticity in your communication? Today's episode for you. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I've been following our guest on LinkedIn for some time and just appreciate all he does to train leaders. We're joined by Joe Crisara, co-founder of Service MVP, America's service sales coach. Joe's trained over 50,000 service professionals in the art of ethical, trust-driven communication that transform businesses. Wow. So if you're in sales, leadership, you just want to build deeper trust, this episode's going to challenge you to how you speak and sell. Joe, what an honor. Welcome to the Speak with People podcast.
Well, thank you for inviting me here. Definitely, it's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here. So thank you so much. I definitely hope I can add some value for everybody.
I love it. So, hey, before we hop into the conversation, take us into a peek into your story, who you are, what you do, what's kind of got you to the place you're at now.
Well, I used to be in the service business. Oh, I think everybody's in the service business in some way. But I grew up, in the trades and the blue collar trades. And I was for about 10 years in the business. And I started my own business in about 1987, 85 to 87, that range. And then I didn't really know how to communicate properly. And so therefore, I wound up always thinking that the only way to get a job was to make sure my price was lower than everybody else's. That was my paradigm. The paradigm, or the way I saw the world, was that the way to get a job is to have a lower price, to find out what everybody else is charging, and then charge a little bit lower. And of course, that led me to getting myself into tremendous debt because I was running a full-time business, but I wasn't charging enough money because I simply didn't know how to create value at the
Mm.
time. And then I was kind of facilitated a high velocity on the dissolution of my first marriage and my family, because I didn't have money and I was always working 14 hours a day, wasn't even home, which
Oof.
destroyed my family, destroyed my business. And then finally, I said I was just too stupid to quit. I should have probably went to get a job and just went somewhere else, but I was too dumb to quit. And then one of my clients, as I was rebuilding, I had 17 people and we kind of imploded. And I was down to me and another guy, only two of us, but I still had all the same overhead. That's why you could see the debt was just piling up higher and higher.
Yep.
And then finally, one of my customers noticed and said, "Hey, Joe, why are you always trying to save money? I notice your business seems like it's not doing that good." He told me he was bold enough to tell me he didn't think the business looked like it was doing that good. And I said, "No, it's doing." I argued with him. I said, "It's doing good." And he goes, "Joe, not really. It's, you got all those trucks, but nobody's in the truck anymore. What's going on?" And
Mm.
so he finally got me. He finally got me to take ownership of that. He tried to ask me, "Joe, why are you always trying to lower the price?" I'm negotiating against myself. I wasn't even being asked to lower the price, but then I would sometimes say, "Hey, let me work you a good deal. I can save you money on doing it this way." And he said, "Joe, why do you stop doing that? Why don't you just offer people the tiered pricing concept, which is I teach today, which is how to offer premium, mid-range, and economy choices, and stop worrying about the money part. Just worry about the diagnosing the problem, making sure that you have a personal impact on your client, and then giving people premium, mid-range, economy choices so they can choose the one that's right for them." And on the very first time I did it, I was smart enough to listen to him for, because I was like, well, I was so desperate I would listen to anybody at the time, which is really the gift of desperation or having things that
Mm.
happen bad to us is that we're willing to learn the lesson because if I was doing good, I wouldn't have listened to him, right? And his name was Dave. So Dave showed me how the science of tiered pricing works. I did try it, and on my very first call, I did 10 times more than I normally would do. On the next call, I did like 20 times more than I normally would do. And so just to give you the overall, by December of 1991, or say January of 1991, I was $471,000 in debt, and that's debt that I spent everything. It wasn't like I had something for that debt. I had bought stuff and did all the work, but I didn't have anything. I just had more debt. And then by December of 1994, I was debt free based on the things that I learned over those 3 years. So those 3 years in 1991 to 1994 shaped what I call pure motive service. And what pure motive service is the
Wow.
focus on the quality of the thing you're trying to fix. What's the quality of the thing you're trying to fix? What's the relationship you're trying to build? And how can you kind of connect the problems that people have with the people who are having them, as well as how do you create the solutions, premium, mid-range economy solutions, and you connect the solutions to the people as well. And then how do you close the deal? And I coined a question which has been trademarked and now become very famous called "What should we do?"
Hmm.
So yeah, here's the prices. What should we do? And so you can see I don't force people what to do. I just say, here's the problem and how it impacts your family. Here's the solution and how that's going to impact your family. So what should we do? And then most people say, yeah, just get the top one done and do it that way. The mid range or top one, that one there. So that's what happened, and that's why I became what I am today. More so the foundation, if you will. Make sense?
Ah, wow. That's incredible. I mean, I can imagine some of our listeners probably hearing that $471,000 number. I can imagine the
Hmm.
weight of that number probably was pretty heavy.
Well, it's like in a way it was kind of as good because nobody could ever do anything worse to me than I was going through at that time. So now when
Mm.
I have little small I have any problem now is way smaller than I went through back then, right? So
Wow.
I've been kind of conditioned. So I realized what I realized is that no matter how severe the problems are about money and things like that, that you still have yourself and there's still things that you can do. And everybody's still got assets that are not always apparent to us. Like we don't see the assets we have, but it's the assets inside of what's in our heart and the way we connect with people. Those are the people we work with and the people we have as customers and the people we have in our community. Those are assets that I think sometimes we don't realize we're sitting on an abundance of gold in a way that we don't really realize that all the I guess put it this way, the way I get into trouble or the way I get into problems financially or personally, if I have an addiction or something like that, it's always done by myself, right? I do that stuff, I isolate myself and I don't get help, right? And if I do want to be more productive and I do want to learn more and if I do want to help my community, it's going to be done together with other people. And that's one thing I've learned is that the biggest asset we have is our own family, the people who surround us in our community, our coworkers and our clients. And there's power inside of that intangible power of the relationship we have with those people is what brings us opportunity. I think we forget about that sometimes, that the power is in the people so I love the name of this podcast. It's a great name of the podcast. The power is in the people. It's not in the
Right.
material possessions and things like that. Make sense, sir?
Ah, I love that. Boy, I love that. You've talked a lot about kind of creating magic moments with clients. What does that
Mhm.
kind of look like? Play that out for us. Give us, kind of some background into that.
Well, I guess it starts with number one, caring enough to make sure that we or want to connect, intentionally wanting to connect with people. Like if I were to talk to you and I'd say, so who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? And what would you say to that question?
I'd say Jason Raitz.
Hey, Jason, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Joe. I'm with Service MVP. First of all, can I just say thank you for inviting me to your podcast and thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's so nice that you would do that. And I want to say how much I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, in a way, that kind of gives us a halo effect that you can kind of see that I'm a person that, number one, wants to go, hey, may I call you Jason? Is it okay if I call you Jason?
Yes, yeah, yeah. I love that.
So now I have permission to use your name. So I'm kind of opening up that relationship already. You kind of learn about me just a little bit in that little introduction, which is number one, I'm going to put you first because you're Jason and it's your podcast. I'm a guest here. I'm not trying to take over your podcast. I'm just trying to be a good guest, and I want to make sure we're on a first name basis. And from this point on, I promise I will call you Jason. Is it okay if I do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what we have to learn is that it starts by getting a familiarity with each other and when you hear the story I tell and you hear the fact that I call you Jason and I get permission to start there, I think that makes us comfortable with each other's name and who we are and the commonalities you and I discussed before we got on the air that we both come from. We both had some opportunities to live in the Illinois, Northern Illinois, Chicago, suburban Chicago area, and we had some common things that we shared there. And there's a lot of things that we
Yep.
have in common with people. And so I hear a lot of people say that, well, how do you sell to that Indian customer? How do you sell that Asian? Like the way society is today, you can talk about wanting to, you can't select the person you're going to work on or try to serve. It's going to be that you got to take what you're given. And so if it's like, what do you do how do you sell to a Indian person or an Asian person or whatever? I'm like, well, my advice would be take a tour of India and get to learn about that person, find out their name. Like you asked my name about how do I pronounce your name? Take the extra effort to get to know people and learn about them. And I think you're on the right track. And I could tell you and I, Jason, already share a lot of things in common just based on the way when you first introduced yourself. I could tell that you and I shared a lot of passions that we have in common already. And so it's not going to be hard to have you and I kind of work together in a way because we both believe in the same things. And I think the thing that's really true, Jason, is that most of us, whether we're Indian or First American or Italian or Jewish or Christian, whatever it is, we have way more in common than we do different.
Mm.
Honestly, we have family, we have a job, we have housing, we have education, we have transportation. All those things are something we all share in common. I think that if we focus on the things that we have in common with people, that leads us to what's called the magic moment. A magic moment is a moment where I notice the effort it takes to do this. Like if I did a magic moment for you on this podcast, I would say, Jason, can I just say something? I think I already did one with you before, but I'm not sure. But it'd be like, Jason, can I just say something to you? Can I just say one thing?
Sure, yeah.
And that's creating the moment. Now I'm going to praise your effort. Jason, I want to say thank you for making the effort to put on this production of this podcast. I know it's not easy to block your time and spend it with a guest like me, but I definitely appreciate you blocking your time and giving that time to me because time is precious. And I really appreciate that. And it makes me feel good, by the way, to be featured and that you looked me up on LinkedIn and made the effort to look me up on LinkedIn. It makes me feel good that you recognize who I am and that you invited me here. It makes me just feel good and it makes me warm in my heart that I didn't know I was going to meet somebody, a new friend today. I thought I was just going to meet a person on the show here today. And I want to say thank you, Jason. The final piece of the magic moments, thank you. So create the moment, praise the effort, share how it makes you feel, share good feelings, and then gratitude at the end. That's kind of what the constructs the pieces of the magic moment. Which what I did is I took kind of the Dale Carnegie training method that I learned from when I was younger. I kind of said, how can I make this into something that everybody could consume in a very short period of time? And I would definitely give anybody credit or advice to go visit the Dale Carnegie training as well too. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for 12 weeks or 9 weeks or whatever it is. That's very good training. But I also think we can do it in a much faster fashion. And my mission is to make sure that I help people connect with other people. That's really what I'm here to do.
Wow. 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 I love that. So as you were kind of setting that up, I was starting to think through, we live in an interesting time. We have four generations in the workforce, Gen Z and millennials and Gen X and boomers, and everybody communicates, their own way. You're in a unique spot because you've done lots of training for professionals. As you train young to old, are you seeing any similarities between the generations? Are you seeing any areas where you have some concern? Are there some areas where you have hope as you look across, the different generations as you train and you're with, people from all those different angles, places of life?
That's a really good question, Jason. And I think the answer is my job is not to find out what's different about each of us.
Mm.
My job is to find out what's similar between all of us, old, young, generational. There's different things that we all do together. The same thing, like I mentioned before, whether it's the religion, the race, the culture we live in. There's so many different cultures and things like that that it would be like I don't really believe in learning about people and try to profile it or try to mirror. Like I'm not going to try and act like somebody who's from India or some guy who's Asian. That would be offensive if I tried that. Actually, it could be offensive. So I would say more so just be authentic as to who I am, but also recognize the thing that's universal. And what's universal is when people make an effort to serve other people. Like if you're being served by somebody, wouldn't it be nice to recognize the effort people are making to serve you? If you see somebody's going through, so here's two things that are universal. Every culture, religion, race, and everything, gender, right? Everything they all go through victories and they all go through challenges.
Mm.
And so magic moments are based on recognizing simply, is this person going through a victory that they're talking to me about, or are they going through a challenge right now? And so if they're going through a challenge, I would recognize the effort it takes to get like somebody, let's say somebody said their mother passed away. I would say, can I just say something? What's that? I think your mother was fortunate to have a son like you who still loves her like you do. And obviously, this is painful and it's hard to make the effort to get through all that pain and still attend the funeral and still be with your family. It makes me feel good that I'm here to help you with this and be here with you during this time of sadness, time of grief. And thank you for inviting me here to meet with you today because I'm here to help you get through that. So, in a way, I'm here to serve you in that way. Right now, victories. Hey, it's so nice that you would share your home with your family to put on a wedding for your daughter. I mean, it's so nice that you would make the effort to do all that kind of a thing. It makes me feel good to be in your home here today, celebrating the marriage of your daughter and your son in law. Thank you for inviting me here. So, a little magic moment like that, it just kind of creates the halo effect, Jason, that I think is needed before we do any kind of business, right? Like
Yeah.
business can't, business is done, as you know, you probably have taught this many. I haven't even seen your lessons, but I'm pretty sure knowing who you are and what you do, and just the little background I heard and seen is that people are more important than things. And I think before you do any kind of business, you're really doing it wrong if you don't bother to learn about the person you're going to do business with or connect with. And business is a lot of different. There's a lot of different business. There's the business of your family is the business. Your actual work is a business. If you got other things like managing a little league team, that's a business. Your church is a business. So really, everything has a certain element of the thing we enjoy to do, but there's a financial element, which is the business element of it too. Which again, most people don't think that their family is a business. Really? Then don't go pay your mortgage or go pay your rent. That's that's a business, right? So there's the business part of everything, the financial part of it, and then there's the people part of it, and then there's things we need that are just items and things like that. But I try to make sure we focus on people first before things. People over things. I always one of the things I teach people. Make sense?
Boy, I love that. I love that. Okay, so talk to the listener right now who they're soaking this in. I mean, you've already given us kind of a a master class here. This is amazing. Um, but they're going, okay, I struggle with what to say next. I'm more, I lack the confidence that I need, kind of speak to that leader who needs to be able to step into that confidence a little bit more.
Well, you've probably seen it yourself, Jason, right? Where you see somebody who's new to a group, they're very timid or maybe apprehensive as to whether they should talk or not. They don't want to, start talking. But I think the more familiar we get, so the answer is the more familiarity we get with people, the more open we get with people, and the more confidence we have when we communicate, right?
Mm.
So confidence with a new group of people, even, I mean, you probably couldn't imagine it, but there are sometimes I go to a group of people and I'm like, holy cow, these guys are like CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. I don't want to act like a dodo or whatever. I don't want to, I don't want to say the wrong thing or whatever. So even, although you could say, well, Joe, you must never have that problem. Honestly, I go to some groups and I have that problem too, right? And I
Mm.
think you do too. We all do. So I think number one, I try to make sure that uh, I can't control the way people are going to think about me. So one of the things I would recommend is that for people who need to feel like they need more confidence, and write this down if you want to. Make sure you got to take notes on this one. I always say you have to release your need to be accepted by other people. So here's my philosophy on that, Jason. Number one, go into every single interaction with new family. I'm going to meet my new mother-in-law. I'm going to meet my new boss. I'm going to meet a business group or whatever. I'm going to speak in front of people, or I'm just going to go to a sales call. And you're like, I don't know what's going to happen with the people. I have no idea. So I'm not confident. But here's what I am. Here's what I am confident in. I'm confident in number one, these people are going to get my friendship regardless of whether they want it or not. They're gonna feel that I am here to give them friendship, support, and respect, and they're gonna get that from me every single time I do something. That's just gonna happen no matter what. So if I can't be confident in the other people, but I can be confident in myself giving my friendship to people. Makes sense. They know I'm gonna make sure they know that they have my unconditional friendship for as long as they live, and I always say you can never lose it for as long as you live, no matter what. You don't have to do anything to get my friendship. You're going to get that for free. It doesn't
Mm.
cost anything, and you can't lose it no matter how long you live. You can never lose my friendship. Isn't that great? I'm gonna give you that support. Now, on the other hand, I don't require you. Ask yourself the second thing, step two. Uh, don't require people to accept your friendship. Make
Mm.
sense? So I'm going to give you my friendship unconditionally, and you can't ever lose it. But I'm not going to require you to accept my friendship. And thirdly, I don't have a need for you to take that friendship either. Like, I don't have a need to be accepted by you. Make sense? So you have to say to yourself, I'm going to give my friendship to everybody I meet today. I'm not going to create a need to be accepted by other people because I accept myself. I accept who I am and the fact that I feel strongly that if I give my friendship to people, it's going to take a relationship I'm going to create. And I don't care what people think of that. I don't have any need to be accepted by somebody else. If I do see somebody who is not accepting my friendship or talking sarcastically about me or talking behind my back or something like that, you're still not going to lose my friendship there. I'm not going to be negative. Um, I will feel the negative impulse that's inside of me or that nervousness or that anxiety. But then tell yourself, remember, I'm not here to be accepted. I'm here to show people what I have to offer and let them decide if they want to accept that or not. That's their choice. I can't make that choice for people. And so you have to meditate on that, or you got to kind of think about that deeply, because I think sometimes the biggest things that reduce our ability to succeed is that we put too much weight on the expectation of other people. Like we place our success in their hands, and that's not very responsible. Responsibility means what I do is on my hands. It's my job to make that friendship, not my job to forge that relationship and show leadership by giving my friendship first and then see if they want to accept it. The great news, Jason, you probably found out too, is that if you do give your friendship to people first, a heck of a lot of people like that, and they do want. I think we all need a friend. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I've never seen anybody not take my friendship. I mean, if you don't, there's probably something wrong with them. They psychologically. So I'm
Right.
not gonna. I wouldn't hold it. I wouldn't hold them against it. It's just something they're. There's something happened when they were a child or something like that. Who knows? But the bottom line is that it doesn't bother me if somebody doesn't accept my friendship. I do feel the negativity a little bit, but then I process it by making sure that I remember, kind of remind myself that's okay. They're just going through something else, and that's not something that's on me. That's on them. It's not on me. Does that make sense, sir?
Oh, I love that. Absolutely, it does. So you hit something a few minutes ago about if they don't, they don't accept it. Hey, that is how it is. So we deal with no's a lot. Our ideas are rejected, and so is it a journey? Uh, do leaders do they not that they ever get to a place where they're numb to it, but maybe they don't live or die from every no because of what you just said. Like they have that confidence, they've done all of that kind of stuff. Walk us through that kind of rejection process, what you've learned about, rejections over the years.
Let's go to the end of an opportunity. Let's say I'm trying to sell my services to you, Jason. Okay, and I tell you about how we can take your team and we can train your team once a day for 3 weeks straight. We graduate your team on week 4. Here's the investment, Jason. And you're like, okay, Joe, that looks really good. I'll call you back when I'm ready, or something like that. They might say, right? And I would say, okay, Jason, you could do that if you want to call me back. I appreciate that. That's so nice that you would make the effort to call me back. Thank you for that. Now, Jason, at this point, you can tell me the truth. Are you interested or not interested? Because can I just share something, Jason? If you're not interested, you can always tell me no, and I'll still be your friend. Okay, so I actually bring that right into the closing process.
Wow, I
I'm like,
like
yeah.
that.
So, are you interested or not interested at this point in our services? Because if you're not interested, you can always tell me no. You always feel free to tell me no, and you're still going to have my friendship. It's okay. I'm not going to be angry if you tell me no. I won't even get concerned if you tell me no. So, are you interested or not interested at this point? And what do you think 100% of the people say to that question there, Jason?
I think they probably say they're still interested.
Well, good. I'm glad you're interested. I'm glad you're well, thank you for being interested. It's so nice that you have an interest. I thought you lost your interest for a second there because you wanted to email it instead of getting the job done. Now, if you're interested, there's a couple things we could do. One thing is we could get the job done now and get signed up right now. And this way we'd get started right away. And that wouldn't stop you from that if you were interested. Uh, what do you think of that? What should we do? And you're like, Joe, I just need more time. Tell me you need more time.
Yeah, it just needs some more time to think about it. Yeah.
Not a problem. How much? When do you want to get the project started, Jason? What would you like? Let's say I want to get started by next Monday or something like that. Tell me that.
Would love to maybe next Monday would be the time. Yeah.
Well, that's really good. That's good. Well, next Monday. So why don't we do this then? Next Monday's coming pretty close. It's like 3 days from now. Why don't we meet tomorrow at the same time? Give yourself a chance to think about it tomorrow, or maybe until Thursday, and then we can make a final choice on Friday. So if I could schedule a time with you to bring it to a conclusion on Thursday, then instead of today, what would happen then?
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, so Thursday, what time? The same time you want to meet today? It was at 12 noon our time, so was it 3 o'clock your time? You want to
Yep.
meet at 3 o'clock again, or 12 noon my time on this Thursday?
That sounds good.
Now, Jason, when we meet on this Thursday at 12 noon my time and 3 o'clock your time, what's going to happen if we meet? What's going to happen on that day? Obviously, you've already seen the solution you want and everything like that. And if you show up for that meeting, what's going to happen then?
Be ready to kind of move forward with it then.
Oh, good, good. So, what time are we going to meet there, Jason?
3 o'clock my time. Yeah, yeah. 12 o'clock your
All right,
time.
we'll see you at 3 o'clock at your time on Thursday, and then we look forward to moving forward on Thursday. Then, now, if you want to cancel, you just here's my cell phone number. Just text me cancel, and you can always tell me no, and I'll still be your friend. Don't worry about that. Matter of fact, you can tell me no right now. You sure you don't want to tell me no right now?
No, no, I'm good.
All right, so we'll see you Thursday at 3 o'clock then. Okay, that pretty much that's a money call. I call that. So we sell it now, or we sell it on Monday, Thursday. But you see, I didn't offer, and I did bring up. You could say no, right? But if you had three outcomes to every call, yes, we sold the job now. Uh, yes, we're going to do it on Thursday instead of now, or no, you can always say no, and I'll still be your friend. Those are the three outcomes we have. Really, that's all there is. And if somebody says, "Can I email it and call you back later?" I would just say that's bad customer service, Jason. The way we require to do it, the service that we do, I don't mind giving you this time to do this, but we need to make sure we either get a yes, a no, or another appointment. Those are the three things we can do. So if you don't want to do those things, I could just withdraw the opportunity. We don't have to do this at all. I would just take it away from you now if I did that. So make sense?
That's
So
good.
just that way
Yeah.
of doing it. So if I give somebody my relationship and my friendship, and at the end of the job, when I'm trying to get the job sold or whatever, I'm going to make sure that I give them an effort to give. You can purchase now, purchase later, or just tell me no if you want to. If you don't want to do those three things, I'll just withdraw the bid. I will withdraw the opportunity and take it away. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, that's so good. Boy, that's incredibly helpful. I had an interesting scenario or situation recently. Uh, about 70-80% of the training I do is with financial professionals. So I'm walking them through client communication skills and asking questions and listening and, all those kind of people first skills. But I'd met a lawyer and he wanted me to come do a communication workshop for his law firm. So not a large law firm, but probably, 15 or so. And that's great. I love rooms that size. Lead them through a workshop. So someone from their office called, set it up, and I could not get this person to agree or even acknowledge the quoted price, the invoice, and the day of the event. I actually, out of the blue, this was actually just a few weeks ago, ended up getting sick. I mean, 104 fever, body aches. I mean, just horrible. I
Mhm. Yeah,
hate
yeah.
missing, opportunity, especially for, a business my size. Every opportunity is, everything. And so immediately, the day I felt better, I'm emailing, here's dates, But what I thought was so interesting about the process is they would not acknowledge. So I'm going back and forth, I'm like, okay, do I, email to say, you haven't responded at all. Is the price agreeable? So it was just really fascinating. So I'd love maybe your advice there, maybe with the misstep I went to, or something I could have done differently. But
Well, at the end of it, obviously, if we didn't schedule another opportunity, so the biggest difference between I say amateur and professional, and actually, it was an attorney. Remember, I talked about my first marriage dissolved or whatever, how that worked there. I actually learned it during that first divorce. That's my only divorce, not my first one. My only divorce. I remarried successfully the second time, but actually learned it from an attorney. I saw how attorneys operate. It's ironic that you brought it. It's an attorney because that's what taught me this lesson. What I realized when I went to court for my divorce is that the attorney from the other side was always scheduling the court date for a time when it was bad for me. And I'm like, why are we always having court when I'm supposed to have a meeting with people at my normal meeting time? They're always scheduling for 9 o'clock on Tuesdays. Why? And it's like, well, that's what they're scheduling. I said, can we reschedule it? And he goes, no, we can't reschedule it. We already got it booked. It's already scheduled. I said, I have to call the judge. I have to call the recorder. I have to call like three people to reschedule it. And so I'm like, oh shit, that's what I need to start doing. And so I started doing a thing where I said, listen, if we're serious about it, let's just schedule the next opportunity. Now, if we do schedule, or let's say I forgot to do that. Obviously, what I'm doing is saying get a yes, no, another appointment. A professional schedules the next thing every time. That's number
mm,
one. Now, if I didn't do that, that's on me. And I really can't expect to do business if I'm not professional enough to schedule the next opportunity that I'm supposed to go on. So if I did call to cancel or be sick or something like that, I would have enough to say, hey, before I get off this call, let's schedule the next time we're going to meet. to do that. So I would say let's not just cancel or whatever, call in sick. Let's make sure we schedule the time while I'm still sick, just to pick a time when I could do that right now when I'm still on the phone with you or whatever. Let's just do that right there. Now, being said, let's say that you screwed up even then, because we're all humans, we all make mistakes. But here's what's worked for me. I just did it yesterday. I had a guy who's a pretty big account. We did talk about it. We did schedule, but he missed the meeting. He didn't call us or anything like that. And so because he missed the meeting, I texted him the next day. I said, "Hey, Steven, I assume that since you missed yesterday's meeting and didn't call me, that means that we have concluded business. You decided to not do business with me any longer. Is that if that's true, I'll go ahead and withdraw my bid from the opportunity, and I wish you all the best. And I'll still don't worry, you still have my friendship. But if you're trying to tell me no, you don't have to worry about it. I got the message, so I'll just go ahead and withdraw the opportunity and file this away." And then, of course, and I have another trick is on the final. If I don't get it on the first time like that, then I have another secret hack I'm going to share everybody here, and it's actually our current president, Donald Trump. There's a meme that says Donald Trump, call it the fired Trump fired meme, where Donald Trump in a meme, not a meme, but a GIF, where he goes, you're fired," just goes over and over again, "You're fired," and the words come out of his mouth. And so I send that GIF. I send the Trump GIF saying you're fired, and I said, "Is this what you're trying to tell me?" With the Trump GIF, and every single time people so send it to him and say, "Hey, I've been trying to reach you," and then send the Trump GIF where you're fired. I'll send it to you. You text me and I'll send it to you, okay? And it's like it works every time. People like they laugh at it and they go, "No, I'm not trying to fire you," type of thing. So bottom line is take it away from people if you're not getting somebody to respond to you. The thing I just did before, which is, hey, you can always tell me no and I'll still be your friend. You want to tell me no? No, of course not. I want to get the job done. Well, of
Yeah.
course. Well, then it's interesting by doing it that way. People see the illusion is that you have the freedom to choose yes or no, but most salespeople forget to put the no in there. They forget to tell people that you can go forward if you want to today if you'd like to. So what should we do? Well, I need to wait on it. Well, you can always tell me no if you want to. You want to just tell me no and forget about it? No, don't do that. I want to get it done, just not right now. Okay, how about Thursday then? When do you want to get the job done? Let's get it done by Thursday. Let's book it down then. Let's make the appointment to get it done, and then you can call me to cancel before we come back. Make sense? So don't call me to say you want to get it done. Call me to cancel because we already have an appointment set. Make sense, sir?
Wow. Wow. Boy, that's so good. That's so good. Hey,
The
as
the tr
we
the Trump meme works every time. I'm telling you right now, it's a great one. The
I
gift of
l
Donald Trump right
I
there.
love it. I love it. Um, as we kind of turn the corner, start wrapping the conversation, just wondering for you, all these years of communicating, leading, running a business, how important, or could you just, speak into our audience from the importance or the motivation of looking for ways to improve your communication and doing the hard work to improve it? Like, how has your leadership changed over the years when you've invested in your communication skills and did the work to improve, those areas that needed it?
Well, for every person who loses their job because of their technical proficiency to do the work they do, whether it's an attorney, whether it's a financial professional, whether it's a plumber or anything, for every person who loses their job because they're incompetent in the work they do, Harvard University found that there are 8 people who lose their job because they couldn't communicate with the client, with their coworker, with their family, or somebody who caused to ruin their career because they could not communicate in a professional fashion. So, whether you pay to invest in educating yourself on how to communicate better, or whether you pay and lost opportunities and lost a family membership or lost family relationships or lost relationships, you will pay for this education.
Yep.
You can pay like I did for like 15 years and go broke and then learn it, or you can avoid the going broke part and invest in the education you need, and keep where you're at and grow from here. Make sense? So
Wow.
there is a cost of communicating, regardless of this, Jason, which is that invest in yourself. And if you invest in yourself, that always returns the investment.
Mm.
When you don't invest in yourself, you're investing in chaos. You're investing in lost relationships. You're investing in lost opportunity, and that cost is like 1,000 times more than the cost it is to hire Jason or Joe, because the cost to hire us is actually very inexpensive compared to the cost of lost opportunity, the millions of dollars of lost opportunity that could take place because you failed to communicate properly. So that's what I
Wow.
feel.
Wow. Amazing. Hey, before we fully let you go, we're building this online library where our listeners can go and get new ideas, different resources. Is there a speaker that you've heard, continue to hear, heard once, that you keep going back to that you just highly recommend?
Hmm. That's a good one. Well, there's a lot of different people. I know in the service business, there's Tommy Mello, who's a good friend of mine from A1 Garage Door. He's a gigantic entrepreneur who scaled the garage door industry. He's a great one. He has a book called yeah, several of the book, The Home Service Millionaire. He also has another one called Elevate, which is how to take any business and elevate the business. That's a good one there too. But one of my best mentors, I'm not sure it was this. I'm not sure if he can get an audience, but Jack Canfield is also a good friend of mine and one of the people who wrote the Success Principles and the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. But if you ever have a chance to speak with him, he's an amazing speaker. But he's also just a really great person who exemplifies everything that we teach about the magic moments and the giving people choices and putting. He's just a great person who's a good mentor for me. So those are the people I have. But there's tons of. I mean, I go back through like best practice history. Stephen Covey, Michael Gerber. I mean, it's
Yep.
like Dale Carnegie. I mean, it's like I just think that you can never really get too much of it. Robert Cialdini is another one that wrote the book Influence, with these laws of persuasion.
Yep.
Another good one there. So that's another great one there too. So I mean, those are the people that I watch like that. You
I
know.
love it. If you're a podcast listener, not everyone is, but if you do, is there a guilty pleasure one that you love, or is there a development one that you keep coming back to that you highly recommend?
Um, there is some. I mean, I usually, honestly, I don't. I'm more of a sports fan. I do. I go back and listen to my the Chicago sports radio when I listen
Yes.
to the Bears and the news on the Bears and the Cubs or things like that. So that's my normal one thing I listen to. But I do have a few things. One of them is called to the Point podcast with Chris Yano, Yano, from Rhino Strategic. That's a really good one. It's called To the Point. That's one of my favorite podcasts that I watch and listen to. And also the Tommy Mello Home Service Millionaire is another great one. He's very motivational and very to the point about business, you know?
I love it. I love it. Well, where's the best place we can point our listeners to find out more about you, connect with your resources, all of that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, if you want to go to servicemvp.com, you could go there. And we do have right there. If you just scroll down on that page, once you hit servicemvp.com, you'll see you can get a free copy of our audio book. That's 9 hours and 20 minutes on the audio book we have on
Huh.
What Should We Do? Is the name of the book's called What Should We Do? We've already sold 78,000 plus on Amazon already. It's the bestseller in the home
Huh.
service industry. So we're doing really good with that. But we also give away free copies of it if you come to the website. So if you want to go to book.servicemvp.com, book.servicemvp.com, you'll get a free copy of the audiobook to come into Service MVP to experience some of the training you get and also get the 9 hour and 20-minute audiobook for free. We don't even charge for that. We just want to make sure you get the information and then we take it from there. If you want to invest more after that, that's up to you. Make sense?
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Well, we will put all of that in our Facebook group, our LinkedIn group, our email. Joe, this has been phenomenal. Thank you. I mean, pages of notes I took. I know our listeners are going to love this. Thank you for pouring into us and just so appreciate your generosity.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you and I appreciate the effort you make. And this is a service that you're offering by putting us out here for professional people who really need to learn the science of communication and what they can do to create better relationships. And I'm happy I create this relationship with you. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Speak with People podcast. It means the world to us when you share this episode. Thanks for liking, subscribing, or following the podcast. That really does help the podcast get into more ears and into more leaders listening. Also, don't forget, we have 2 exciting resources for you. The first is go to Facebook and join the Speakers Group. This is a community designed for leaders who want to grow their communication skills. Also, go to speakwithpeople.com/skills library to access the Communication Skills Library. It is an online resource chock filled with resources that will inspire you and transform you and grow your communication skills. Thanks again for being a part of the listening community. We cannot wait for the next episode.